As we head closer to the Sunset Speedway season opener, I got to reflect. I cannot remember a moment in time where there's been so much buzz about the Superstock division. I mean, as good as the Sunset Late Models are, I feel just as many people are talking about the Superstocks right now. The roster is so deep, the competition is so tough, and one of the championship contenders I have on the line right now, none other than second-generation star Matt Bentley. He went on a heater at the end of last year. He's got to be a favorite in 2016. Matt, thank you so much for taking the time, my brother.
No problem, bud.
Now, we're getting closer, man. I've been seeing all your posts on social media. I saw the video last weekend. It looks like you've got the car fired up. You're ready to roll. How different is this program from when we ended 2015?
Honestly, I don't want to change a thing from last year. Came on strong at the end, and I just want to continue that throughout this whole season.
I mean, when you look at the Superstock division, you look at that roster, we got 41 guys and girls on this roster. It just seems as though it's never been this deep. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that could win a lot of races this year.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be coin flip, you know what I mean? Like, whoever gets out front first, basically, depending on where you start, what your starting position is. But there's definitely some upcoming stars and seasoned veterans out there I'm going to be racing against, and I'm looking forward to it, you know what I mean? Lots of head-to-head racing, actually, side by side. It's going to be a great year.
Now, you've been a guy sort of on the verge of really becoming a star for the last couple of seasons, but you stepped to the forefront last August and September. It just felt as though you were rattling off wins and podiums nonstop to close out the season. I mean, how good did it feel for your family-run team, small team going up against some of these big budget efforts to finally turn that corner last year?
Oh, it was huge, you know what I mean? Nothing better than to put all the work and effort into the car yourself and have positive outcomes, you know what I mean? That, like, just like, it's so rewarding to be able to run up front with all these guys who've got like big sponsorships and lots of money and people like with huge teams just taking care of their cars, and it's just like I'm like a 2-man team over here, and I'm just trying to do my best to try to keep up with these guys, and next thing you know, I figured my car out and I'm out front freaking pulling away from them.
I mean, the fact that last year you stood in victory lane more often than not, looked me right in the face and said, I got to thank my dad and my girlfriend, because that's all you had in the pits helping you out. You rolling on the open trailer. I mean, you must feel like David versus Goliath on some of these Saturdays.
Yeah, sometimes I do, you know what I mean? And just like one big name I'd like to mention is Kane Lapidus, you know what I mean? Like, his family and like his team and everything they put together, the program that they run is just like, it's tough to beat, you know what I mean? And just like be able to compete with them, run head to head with them, and actually beat them some nights, it's just an awesome feeling, you know what I mean?
And when I did my interview with Caden this year to kind of preview the season, and I said, look at the Superstock roster. Who do you think is going to make a big impact? He made sure to say, hey, Matt Bentley's going to have a big year. So it just goes to show that as hard as you guys run one another, as hard as you guys race each other for 3 seasons, he's instantly giving you that recognition because he knows that yours is a car that the rest of these guys are going to have to beat in 2016.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming hard this year. You know what I mean? I did lots of upgrades, and I think I got this thing figured out for a great season. Just to keep it consistent all year. I'm hoping for top 5 every race.
I mean, from 2012 to 2015, you were a feature win contender. I mean, you were never really out of the mix, but those 3 seasons, it feels like you were never able to put together a complete effort. And when I say that, I mean a race for a championship. You know, you would start slow and then finish strong, or you would sort of stumble in the middle of the season. There was always, a couple of weeks that would kind of take you out of the running. What do you need to change this year to put forth that complete effort from April right to September?
Well, all those other years, I never really like had the car, let alone the package, just to let's say figure it out on my own. You know what I mean? It was always a gamble with that car, and now that I built a new one and everything's like smoothed itself out eventually, it just seems all to be coming together, and keeping track of my notes and everything, and just making sure everything's dialed right in for every race is just what I need to do. You know what I mean? I got to come out strong this year and be able to perform the way I did, like I did at the end of last year. So as long as I can keep that spark going, that keeps the flame lit this year, you know what I mean? I'm going to be there all year.
Now, up until this year, you were always the guy sort of chasing everyone else. You were the hunter. But now that I've done a lot of these interviews and everyone in the Superstock division is pointing to the old number 21 as the guy to beat, does it feel like you're the hunted? Does it feel like you're the guy walking in with the bullseye on his back, especially now that the two-time champ, Caden Lapsevich, has moved on? Do you feel like you're the guy that everyone is ready to throw darts at and ready to find a way to beat?
Yeah, I can guarantee if I show up at practice this weekend, I guarantee you guys will be out there with your stopwatches checking my time. But yeah, no doubt. I think everyone's gonna have their eye on me this year, and I don't blame them for it. I mean, like, it's kind of expected just because the way things unfolded last year. You know what I mean? It's just I came on hot, and I just want to keep it that way. It'd be nice, but there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of young talent coming out and a lot of seasoned veterans that are coming back, and it's going to be one hell of a year. I can tell you that much.
I'm telling you, bro, anytime you can get a crowd to the fence during practice, you know that you're doing something right. You know, that's the pat on the back that every racer wants when you're heading out to the track and you're seeing everybody hustling up the hill so they don't miss one of your laps. That's when you know you're working in the right direction.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to fool them by running in the upper groove.
Now, as far as your chassis goes, you run a Bev Thring built car, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So you're a Bev Thring guy, but are you based out of the Streamline shop now, or how does that work? Where's your allegiance right now? Because I know that a lot of guys, once you start winning races, they're going to want to go and get what you've got. Do they go to Bev or do they go to Sean McWhirter?
I honestly would go to Bev for chassis. That's where I would always go. Bev Thring is a mastermind in building cars, always has been, and I put up all my faith into him when he built this car. Sean, he helps me out with getting things like ordered for me, parts, and help me like figure out some things here and there. But most of the work comes out of our own shop. I do a lot of stuff myself, and I'm a very hands-on person. I like to learn, and I just like I said, it's just like the pride in being able to get your car working yourself is just, there's nothing better than it.
Now, I feel like that's a lost art for guys in their 20s to be doing things hands-on, to kind of be putting their own creation out there. Do you feel as though that's something that our generation, because we're close in age, that our generation is kind of lacking or missing in racing right now?
I wouldn't say lacking. I think it's more of let's say they're like a lot of guys out there now, just they'd rather let someone who knows what they're doing work on their car because they think that maybe it's going to get them up the front faster. You know what I mean? And my perspective is, if I don't know what the car is doing, if I don't know what to do to it when the time comes where I need to make a change, then honestly, how can I improve where my where I'm going to finish on the track? If I don't do it myself, then there's nothing really being learned out of it. You know what I mean? And honestly, I'm not really too sure about our generation now. I'm sure that a lot of guys put their money into the guys that know what they're doing, but sometimes it's best off just to do it yourself and actually learn a few things, and you never know, you know what I mean? It could be the next Hanley.
I mean, when I look at it, it's almost like being in a band, right? I mean, like when you start making music, you're terrible. It sounds awful, and the more you work at it, the better it's going to sound. Racing seems like it's a lot like that. I mean, you come out with your car and you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with it. You're trying to figure it out, but as the years went on, you got a lot better and a lot faster, and now all of a sudden, here you are, this championship contender, and you kind of did everything from the ground up. That's got to feel so gratifying.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Ever since I got that chassis built and doing all the work to it myself and everything, it is very gratifying, you know what I mean? And it's just, like, the amount of work and time I put into this car, and the first year I brought it out, it was tough to figure out, you know what I mean? It took me all year just to get in the top 5, top 6, you know what I mean? And it was tough the first year. I was struggling, and I wasn't sure what to think of the car. I wasn't sure what to think to do to it. But sure enough, the next year came around, I made a few more changes, and I ended up figuring it out, you know what I mean? And it's just great feeling, you know what I mean?
Now, when you look at the roster and you keep in mind how many good teams are racing at Sunset, is there a certain amount of pride with being a part of that? Because, I mean, you Matt Bentley, could probably go to any other division running this class and win, 10 features in a year, and without breaking a sweat. But you come out to Sunset and race against the best, you might not win that many features, but is it a sense of pride just knowing that you're competing against the elite level of competition?
Yeah, for sure. It's just not just it's just not about competing against the elites. My favorite track to race. I love that. I love Sunset. It's just the banking, the facility is great. I love supporting Mark and what he's doing with the track, everything like that. It's just an added bonus to be racing against the guys I am. You know what I mean? To be able to get noticed that like I'm able to beat them or compete with them is just it's great too. You know what I mean? Like I came from Flamborough, and there wasn't that many fans to impress on the stands and everything like that. And now that I went to Sunset, and everything is just like a whole different atmosphere. Everything's changed, and it's just like you want to continue to impress and strive for the best for your team, for your sponsorships and everything. Just try to get noticed and bring out the highlights of your career. And I think Sunset is the best track to do that at.
Now, when you pull up onto the flag stand and you get up out of the car and you just want a feature and the place is rammed with people and you pop out of that window, what are those emotions like? I mean, what's it like to win a race on a really, really well-attended Sunset Speedway show?
Oh, it's unforgettable. Just coming out of the car, you know what I mean, and looking up at the grandstands and everything, and all the people spread across the fence and up in the stands, cheering your name, cheering for you and everything like that. And it's a great feeling, you know what I mean? And like I said, especially when you do it all yourself, and people eventually start to realize that, well, it gets out of the media and everything like that. It's like I said, unforgettable, you know what I mean? And I know I got quite a few of them last year, but it's still the same feeling every time you get out of the car.
Now, I was looking at pictures from the Streamline Race Product Shop last weekend, and it was Matt Bentley, Mike Bentley, Scott Wiley, Sean McWhirter, Ryan Semple, and Frank Davey. I mean, there are a lot of feature wins between those drivers. There's a lot of really good dudes in a room together. What's it like being a part of a fraternity like that? Do you guys all push one another? I mean, does associating with each other in a small group like that make all of your programs better?
I'm sure it does, especially with see now that Mike's alone now, he's running the limited late model class. I think it's good for all of us super stock drivers that are there, because not only do we get to like update each other on like how like I guess update each other on how like our cars will work out on the track, and like what adjustments we can make, what we can't make. We're kind of getting something figured out for just like a base setup, you know what I mean? And I think it's a good way to. It's almost like running a big team in NASCAR. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
The more cars you got, the more information you get, the more, you know what I mean. There's better chances of figuring out the cars a lot quicker than the single teams.
Is there a lot of chirping that goes on once the season gets started? Do you guys get a little mean with one another to try to improve your performance?
Yeah, I guess you can do a little bit of chirping, but we try to stay on the nice side. I don't want to get too rowdy out there.
Now, let's go back to the Autumn Colors Classic 2015. You and Caden Lapsevich absolutely tore the house down. It was the race of the weekend. Some people called it the race of the year, even though you came out on the let's call it the losing side of it, of the race for the win. Was that one of the most fun races you've been a part of?
Yeah, for sure. I remember Caden posted one of the throwbacks about it, and I had to comment that that was one race I'll never forget. You know what I mean? Even though I did end up finishing second, it'll never bother me. You know what I mean? It was one heck of a race I ran, and I might have had it, I might not have. You know what I mean? It's just the way it all unfolded, but like, I'm still proud of with all my efforts I put in and everything. I'm proud of the way the car ended up fucking way the car ended up turning out at the end of the night. You know what I mean? Just I didn't put a mark on it the whole time Peterborough, and that's unbelievable. Like last time I remember, freaking had like 40 car pile up, but it was great. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'll never forget that race. It was just me and him running hard, and we were so close in times, and it was a great race.
Now, race car drivers are pretty incredible where they have these amazing photographic memories. I mean, you might not be able to remember your car keys in the morning or where you left your cigarettes, but I'm positive you can remember everything about that race and how it went down. When you go back and relive it, is there one moment in that race that you could go back and change so that you ended up on the winning side?
Yeah, no doubt. It would be turn 2 coming off corner on lap, what was it, 11 to go, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that. And yeah, I pushed up. I got a little bit loose in the quickie dry that they put down, and he got underneath me. And if I got my foot out of it, didn't get into it too early, I probably would have been able to keep it on the bottom. And yeah, I probably would have held him off for the rest of the race, because I knew that he wasn't getting by me if I was running my line the way I was, and being able to just like concentrate on getting the good jumps on the restarts and being able to hold them off through lap traffic is just the key points. I know it might have been just like maybe a half a tenth quicker than me, if not a little more, but yeah, it was tough, and it was unfortunate that that's the way he had to get by me, but it's a race, you know what I mean, and I can't complain one bit.
Now, if you put an Autumn Colors Classic win next to a Sunset Speedway championship, what means more to you in terms of your legacy, your lasting impact on this sport? If you were to walk away, which one would you sooner have to your credit?
Definitely a Sunset Championship. No doubt about that one. Just the recognition and the amount of effort that's put into a whole race season compared to one race, there's nothing that adds up more than the actual championship. And that's what I strive for every year. No doubt, like, that's my main goal. Is my goal is I can't move out of super stock until I win a championship, and I'm sticking to it. That's not going to change. So I might be around for a bit longer if I don't win one.
Well, I mean, I hope you're around for a bit longer, just because you're fun as hell to watch. You bring that excitement to the super stock division. You're just always attacking, always going forward. It's such an entertaining style to watch. I was really happy to hear that you had signed some sponsors for this year, because I know that your team, you guys have done a lot with a little for a really long time. So the fact that you have a little bit of funding this year is a great thing. Go ahead and thank the folks that are going to be helping you throughout the 2016 season.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Mike Ritchie a whole lot for sponsoring me. It's CGL Manufacturing in Guelph, the company I work for. And he's a great man, and I really appreciate it. I also like to thank my mom, my dad, my uncle, my brother, just for helping me out through all the race seasons I've been through. And my girlfriend, Kayla, she's helped me out quite a bit also.
Brother, anytime we get the chance to do one of these, it's always a pleasure. I wish you the best of luck, sir, and we'll see you on April 30th when we kick this season off at Sunset Speedway.
No doubt I'll be there.
There you have it, folks. Matt Bentley, ready to go for opening night. I mean, he's got to be a driver that you're keeping an eye on to get to victory lane and to make a run for that championship. He's going up against 40 other drivers on the Superstock roster. It's about to get real quick at Sunset Speedway. Matt, thank you for the time, sir. We'll see you on April 30th.
Thank you, friends.